Hey, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by and listening to The Fight Within the Fight. I'm your host, Rockefeller Brown. Go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe button, and we're going to get into it. Now, for the people that have not been here yet, The Fight Within the Fight is common but uncommon people that's telling their story of adversity that they've gone through and how they got through it and how they're still is getting through it, getting over it. And today, our guest today is a person that is very close to me, have been close to me for a long time, Osiris, Ezell. How's it going, cuz?
Oh, everything going good, cuz. Just happy to be here and, happy to be on this podcast with you, let the people know, what's going on.
Yes. Man, yes, we have a good long story. We can do this all day long. We can do this for a long time, but we have to break it down a little bit, for a little bit to them, so we don't kill them today, but
yeah.
Yes, we have a long time that we can go with. But, so that he tells the story. So we're gonna go back a little bit, go back to the beginning, let them know, where you're born, where you at, where you grew at. Where did you grow up from?
I grew up here in Perry, Georgia, a little small town. Population, I don't know, maybe 10, 15,000. It wasn't too big. So
right.
The part of the city I grew up in was Sand Hill. There was different parts, but the part I grew up in was Sand Hill. Everybody knew everybody. A lot of old people there to help guide you and keep you on track. So that was pretty much, how it was growing up. So.
Yes, that was something that was very good for us while we was growing up, was those elders that helped keep us in check. That was real good for us, huh?
Yeah, they kept us in line, and believe it or not, they would always give us good guidance and good advice, and I still use some of the stuff today that a lot of the elders that growing up, that we grew up with, had for us back then, just little small sayings, stuff like that every day to help you survive. I still use them sayings, every day, even if it was something like, treat others, the way you want to be treated and always respect people, stuff like that. Whenever I get into hard times, them old sayings that the older people taught us is what I refer back to help me survive and, stay alive in this crazy world we're living in now.
I know, man. My mind sometimes go to the good, bad things of it. How, the lady across the street, the lady crossed on the other street with doggone tail up until you got home and got to mom or grandmom or something like that.
Yeah, that made a big difference because, you had to be honest everywhere you went. You couldn't.
Yes.
You couldn't hide that. How we grew up, everybody was your mama and everybody was your daddy. So, if somebody caught you doing wrong, they was gonna make sure that they fixed it, and that shaped that shaped us and turned us into I think that the way that we are today. So, I know me and you both joined the Marine Corps, and I really think it was a breeze for us because the way that we grew up. So
I know, right?
We was ready to go.
My mom was thinking about, don't look at me crazy, but at first I went into the Army, but then later on went to the Marine Corps. But still, when the drill sergeant and later on the drill instructor, when they fussing at me, I'm like, man, my grandma cuss doggone fuss much than you. This is nothing. This is nothing right here. You know what I mean?
It was same thing. Yeah, same thing for me. I just I remember my drill instructor asking me several times. He said your dad did a good job with you. He said you one of the toughest Marines I've ever met in my life. And I looked at him like, sir, my dad didn't raise me. He was like, who raised you? It was my grandma.
Hey.
And he said I want to meet her when you graduate. I said she'll be here. You'll get
yes. Strong. Those days of the strong woman, man, because she was a good one, man. She was a very good one, and she instilled a lot of good stuff in us, man. It was awesome, man. Days up under the every nights up under the street lights.
Yeah. You know, you had to be in the house before them lights. You had to be in the house before them lights came on, and if you wasn't, you know, you had to answer to her.
Yeah.
So you know that in itself taught you a lot, man, because that taught you how to be responsible, how to be on time. We didn't have no watch, but we knew when that street light came on, it was time to get in the house. And that's the same thing as going to work on time or being somewhere on time. If you got to be somewhere, then you know it's consequences of not being there. So you know, little stuff like that is what helped us. That's what molded us and helped us became, you know, who we are today.
Right. Every day. Yeah, man. So you know, all the playing, you know, around Sand Hill, around the house, you know, from Cubs to Cubs playing their house and whatnot. That helped us go into the sports. You know, was already playing already in the streets in the backyard and everything. Yeah. So that helped us just roll right into the sports going up. You know what I mean? Like playing football, right?
Yeah.
It helped that running back get going, right?
Yeah, it did. You know, it helped out a lot. You know, having a lot of cousins and always having somebody there to compete with. You know, I was spending a lot of time outside. You know, all that transferred to, you know, stuff we did later on in our life. You're right. You know, sports, football, track, baseball for you. You know, all that turned into, you know, helping us out and develop. Honestly, you know, they're the great athletes. Our family was loaded with great athletes, and
we were.
I would say that having a lot of cousins and a big family played a big part in that, because, like I said, we was always able to compete and challenge with somebody, with something. Basketball, football, track, running, you know, baseball. You know, we was always competing with our cousins. So you know that helped us out a lot.
Yes, and you don't see that a lot these days. You know, every once in a while I see some kids outside playing, you know, sometimes, but today it's not like it was then, because we was out there like every day. We we're gonna be there every day trying to.
Cold, hot, rainy. We was competing with something. You know, we did it in the seasons. You know, we had a time we didn't play number football in the road. Then we had a time we ran in the road all the time. Then there was a time we just played basketball in the road or kickball. But either way, you know, we was always doing something, and we was always active, and that played a big part in really turning out some great athletes in our family. From football to baseball to track, basketball. I mean, we got a lot of great athletes in the family, and I will say that helped out a lot. So
yes, man. I mean, since you went ahead and broke it open about the track, you know, that was a big thing for you. You know, we saw it, you know, long time ago. You know, we saw him when he was 4 or 5 years old. You know, we saw the muscles in the thighs, the calf. You know, these looking at him like, you know, man, this boy not one piece of weight yet, but body just pop, and legs like man, this boy gonna be fast right here. It's gonna be fast right here. And later on, what ended up happening?
I ended up being, you know, I ended up being good at track. So, you know, I had a passion for it. I love the sport, and like John said, they seen it before I seen it, and you know, when I got to middle school and high school, you know, I stood out, and you know, I was one of the top ones to ever do it. So, you know, yeah.
Yes, man. What one thing that I like a lot, you know, is when you're racing like that. Sometimes you're on the street. Sometimes you be running, and so yeah, I got a chance to get a lot of money because these legs. These legs helped my pocket a lot. A few times it helped my pocket a lot.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I heard a lot of people. It's funny you say that, because now my daughter's running. I'm pretty sure you heard people out there the other day. They betting on my kids now, so they was yelling that, you know, we got money on you. So yeah, you know, I didn't realize at the time, but you know, I'm starting to see it now. So
and tell us about that. I mean, because he was fast and he did good thing in track. Later on, we'll bring part in now. He may talk a little bit of it now. When he went in the Marine Corps, he was running track there. But now he have daughters that's running track now and doing very well. Would you like to talk about those?
Oh yeah, I got two daughters right now that's running, and they both in high school, and they both started young, just like me. I started young, but with me it was in the streets and in the neighborhoods, but actually I was able to get them on the track, so at a young age, and they doing real good now. They both ranked nationally, both ranked in the state, so I'm just looking for good things for them. Hopefully they'll both get scholarships to college. I did run in when I was in the Marines, and that helped me out a lot because I was able to bring some of that knowledge that I got and give it to them to kind of get them a boost and kind of put them ahead of everybody else. So.
Yes, and it was funny while he was in the Marine Corps, we ended up in Okinawa together. And one of the times he came over there, that I think his first year, or right before he came over, some of my friends, we went and we ran the track meet. We was there, but then he came with his friends. So once I knew that him and his friends was coming, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get in this next track meet. Yeah, I already know what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna get embarrassed like that. I'm not going out that bad, boy. So I just went out there with the video.
yeah, we need that video too. But it was a lot of fun. I never thought that I was gonna be running track in the Marines. I thought after high school was if you didn't go to college, that was pretty much it. So that's one of the highlights of being in the military, especially the Marines. Because I told them what I wanted to do, and with the Marines being so close, one person tell one person he knows somebody, and before you know it, I was on the track team. So I was just glad that I was able to still run after high school. So.
Yes. Those are fun times. For fun times, it was. You know what I mean? But man, so after the track though, the guys that you was running then, do you still keep in contact with them?
I'm still friends with 3 of the guys that I ran track with in the Marine Corps. Actually, I'm still friends with them on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I still stay in contact with them, and it's kind of funny because every time they see my kids run, they say that was you. So I can't see it, but they all just very supportive and anything they can do to help out. I know we traveled out of town a lot, so I still got some of the guys are in North Carolina and Texas and New York, and they always say, hey, if y'all in one of these states, don't worry about nowhere to stay at. You know what I'm saying? We got you. We ain't got to worry about nothing. So, that actually helped me out in the long run now, by doing that. So.
Okay. So now with little cousins, how is it with the training? Because I know you have to keep the conditioning up, you have to keep the nutrition up, you have to keep the strength and endurance and stuff up. So how is the training for them? How is that going?
The training going good. We started in September, and it's a slow process. And then week by week, as they get stronger and more in shape, we just add more drills. We add more workload to it, and to the point where I get them at the point where I feel like they peak, and then we just start easing down and start doing light workouts and stuff like that. But it's a lot of work. They got a special diet they got to be on. They're training 4 days a week or 10 to 12 hours a week. That's kind of our pace, or what we're trying to hit is a combination of running, gym, plyometrics, core work. So it's a whole 9 yards. So it's a lot involved with building a great athlete, and I think a lot of people try to take shortcuts, and that's just something that we bypass. So they understand that it takes hard work to be where you want to be at. So and it takes adversity. You're not gonna always have a good day, but you got to bounce back and and you got to remember why you started, and then you just got to bounce back and be the person that you want to be. So, and our training is pretty much designed to get them confidence, but also make them strong, so mentally and physically. So, if they do have a bad day, they know that they've outworked everybody. So that right there, put them in a position to go out there and be, successful. So.
Yes, man. And I know the young one, she went through a little something that I think it shook her a little bit. It shook her a little bit, but then later on it motivated her a little bit more. Because if I'm correct, yes, she was a little nervous when she went through it, but after she knew she could have did better. Yeah. So for that next year, she really, I gotta go ahead and get this. She had a different mindset for the next year, for next one, right? Yeah, she
had a bad year, and she slacked off, and which everybody gonna do from time to time. But at the end of the year, she started getting back into it, and she picked it up, and she realized, that little bit of time that she took off, all the other girls around her was still working, and that was the difference between winning and losing. So now she's at a point where, Dad, I'm not gonna slack off. It ain't gonna be no off days. It ain't gonna be no quit. I'm not only am I gonna outwork them, but I'm gonna work more than they work. So, sometimes stuff can be a blessing in disguise, and so I don't look at nothing as being a bad moment. I just look at everything as being a teaching moment. So even when we have bad days, we learn something from it. So
right, just a challenge. That's all it is. Yes, that's good to hear how you got her into a higher level after that little adversity that she went through. That was good to hear about that, man. So even though I know we're backing, jumping back and forth, but before we go too far, the Marine Corps side, was there in the same place over in Okinawa, Japan. It's really funny that we was over there together, and we have a crazy story. Well, we have a lot of crazy stories.
Yeah, more than one.
But a funny one lighter side was we got promoted on the same day and did not even know it. It was really funny that day. I called him to try to let him know that I got promoted, and the person answered the phone was like, "Lance Corporal? You mean Corporal?" I'm like, "Whoa, what?" So when he got on the phone and hear Sergeant Brown, you're like, "Sergeant?" I'm like, yeah, it was awesome to hear that we both got promoted on the same day and did not even know it. That was a little awesome. Right?
Yeah, that was an awesome feeling, and just I always support family, and to know that my cousin was a sergeant now, knowing the time he had already put in was it was just good to hear and amazing feeling. I think I told like 100 people that day, man, I got a cousin that's a sergeant, so that was a real good day, and just a real good feeling. I like to see anybody get promoted, but definitely my family. So
yes, that was awesome. So man, when we move on forward, it always comes to an end that one way or another you have to come to an end sooner or later. Whether you get out, whether you retire, no matter what, you have to get up out of there. So after the Marine Corps, so how did you? What was next? What happened after the Marine Corps? How did you rock and roll then?
After the Marine Corps, I got out. I tried the school thing, tried to go to college, but I just, it wasn't for me. I felt like, God would lead me to something else, or I would lead myself to something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be a part of something if I know I can't give it 100%. And, I tried the school thing, the college thing, but, that didn't work out for me. So, and also at the same time, I had met someone and she was pregnant with my first child. So, I really had to grow up, be a man, step up to the plate. So, that kind of altered my plans. But, Nevertheless, there's no such thing as a mistake. Everything is a learning moment. So,
right.
but that dictated what I had to do. But I told myself then, I didn't want at that time, my son to struggle or want for nothing. So, I made up in my mind from then on, I was gonna have to do something to support him, and I was gonna have to work. And I had made my mind up, especially being in the Marine Corps. It ain't too many people that can tell you what to do once you leave the Marine Corps. So my mind was made up. I got to be self-employed. I got to start my own business. I got to do something for myself. So that's pretty much what happened after the Marine Corps. So
okay, that's what's going on right there, man. Yes, man. And that was one of those things that growing up, seeing this young man, strong, fast. In the Marine Corps, we didn't even bring this part up, that he actually had asthma while he was growing up.
Oh, yeah.
And then he went into the Marine Corps, but he still had to run. I think he ran it out of his body.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I'm pretty sure that what happened. And it's crazy because I didn't even think about asthma until the third year I was in the Marine Corps getting ready to get out. And I'm like, man, I got asthma. Yeah, I've been running, so I guess, they so if anybody that's looking for a remedy to the asthma, join the Marine Corps. They'll cure it. They'll definitely run it out you. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But I think it was just underdevelopment. Once your lungs get to a certain capacity and can hold more air, I'm almost certain that's what happened. So
it worked out like that. Yeah, man. But hearing that, he made it through that stuff, strong in the Marine Corps, and came out and
believe it or not, my oldest daughter got asthma too.
Oh yeah.
And she runs track, but she never have an asthma attack at the track meet. She always have it when she's not running. We don't understand why or how, but it could be mental. We don't know, but at first she was scared to run, but she's found a way to deal with it and get over it mentally, and she goes out there and run, and she's fine. So, but it's definitely. But we do keep the asthma pump with us and hope she don't have an attack. But I mean, she runs track and don't have any issues when she's out there running. But it's one of them things mentally. I think she just had to overcome it on. So,
not an excuse. So
no excuse. Yeah.
When your kids out there, somebody around you talking about, I have asthma, I can't do. Nah, nope, don't take it at all. That bull jump, yeah. So we know you can run out of them. But later on, we messed around and you got some news later on. And this was the thing that got to me, that because of how strong his body is and whatnot, sometimes things happen and whatnot. And you end up got some bad news later on, and it tests yourself. It tests yourself to go through something and have to make it through it, and I have to keep going and whatnot. Would you want to elaborate on that?
Oh yeah. So around April or May of 2013, I was in really good shape. I was probably 200 pounds. I was probably bench pressing 400. I probably was running 3 or 4 miles a day with ease, wasn't even breaking a sweat. And I woke up one day to go check the mailbox, and I was out of breath. I just ran 3 miles the day before that. It didn't even face me. It took me almost 3 hours to go from my front door to the mailbox, which wasn't no more than maybe 25 feet. So finally get to the mailbox, and I go back in the house, and I look at my legs, and they were swollen. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know what was wrong, and so for a day or two, macho, me, I ain't gonna worry about it, it's gonna go away, but it never went away. So a week later, I ended up going to the doctor, and, they told me that I had an allergic reaction to maybe a spider bit you or something like that. So they gave me some antibiotics, sent me back home, and I get back home, 3-4 days later, legs still swollen, I'm still out of breath. So I go back to the doctor, and that's when they tell me, man, you got a bad heart, and I suggest you pick out a casket. You got 6 months to live. You'll be dead in 6 months. So that's pretty much what they told me. And I'm like, it ain't no other way, no other death. And they was like, no, man, your heart is they said your heart is enlarged and it's barely pumping. They said to be alive, your heart got to be at 18%. Mine was like the minimum 18. Mine was like 12 or 10. So my heart was barely pumping.
Right.
So they pretty much told me to go. What the doctor told me, he was like, if I was you, I'd go, find a casket and, let your family know. It was April then. He said probably around January of next year, which would have been 2014. He said, you ain't gonna be here.
Right. Yeah, that was something we wanted to hear. We didn't want to hear that at all.
Yeah.
But we know it came around that the transplant. That somebody came around that an answer came, so that there is a way that we don't have to go and find that doggone casket.
Yeah, so I ended up going to get a second opinion in Macon, and I went to get a second opinion in Macon, and there was a doctor up there, and he said, "Man, I knew a way we could save you." He said, "But it's risky." I said, "Well, I don't have anything to lose at this point." He said, "Well, there's a hospital in Atlanta, and they are starting to do heart transplants." He said, "You're gonna need a new heart." He said, "You ain't gotta pay nothing." He said, "But you're gonna be a guinea pig." He said, "They're gonna practice on you." And I said, "Well, at this point, I don't have anything to lose." He said, "They're not gonna charge you any money. They're gonna pay for everything, but you're gonna be a guinea pig. So you gotta go up there and do what they tell you to do." He said, "But worst case scenario, if it don't work out, you ain't no worse than where you are. But if it do work out, you're gonna get a brand new heart, and who knows how long you can live with that heart." So I ended up going to Atlanta and ended up getting a heart, and it's been, I think this will be year 11 year right now. So
yes, awesome right there. Totally awesome. That's a totally turnaround. I like docs because they would do a lot of good things for you, but at the same time, I hate them sometimes because they don't look for everything all the time.
no.
And if you just went with the first doc, man, I'm gonna have a little cuz right here with me, man. So I'm very grateful that he went for that second opinion and give him some better news, though. You know what I mean? That was awesome. But
And you got to keep in mind, 13 years ago, my son he's 21 now. He was like 8. One of my daughters was 3, and one of my daughters was 5. I've seen my son graduate high school. He's in college. Both of my daughters are in high school. One of them about to graduate next year, and my other daughter gonna graduate 2 years after that. So I would have missed all of that. I wouldn't have got to see any of that.
Something to fight for. You know what I mean? Totally something to fight for. And even I know it's been a little smaller things even after you received the transplant. There was some little bull stuff that always kept coming up.
Yeah, there was always, you're never out the water, even with a transplant. There's still problem with medications. You got to worry about getting infections because, you got to think you got somebody else's organ in your body. So your body's trying to kick it out because it's not yours. So, your body internally is having a boxing match, trying to say, hey, this ain't ours, trying to kick it out. And you trying to survive and maintain while your body's trying to kill you. So, there was always hiccups. But anyway, I ended up going back a few times and actually they had punctured my kidney because they was running a test trying to find out why the medicine wasn't working and my heart was trying to inject itself. So they ended up running the test and they ended up running a tube and they punctured my kidney. So I was pretty much facing life or death situation even after the heart. So back in the hospital, 3-4 more months, dealing with the same issue. So and each time, I just had to fight through it, had to fight through adversity, had to remind myself, why it was important to stay alive and why I had to be here. So, but it was definitely tough. And it was a lot of days I wanted to give up. But, like I said, and even to this day, even with training my kids and living the life I live, saying you got to have something to fight for. You got to remind yourself why you're here, and you got to remind yourself of what you mean to the people around you, and you got to use that for motivation, because that's going to give you the power and all the motivation that you need to fight and survive. But you got to turn your pain into energy, and you got to let that guide you and get you where you need to go at. So,
like that, man. Very good, strong words right there. Man, I mean, hearing something like that, anything that I went through, it made me feel like nothing. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's awesome right there. So, man, after going through all of that and going through the bull stuff, the little smaller things the small things that came up after. So now, after all of that, so where are you at now? What are you doing now? How are you going now? How are you feeling now? How are you going through with everything now?
Well, finally, I'm on track with everything, all the medication. So, pretty much back to normal for the most part. There's, of course, there's some issues, but back working full time, actually self-employed, on my own plumbing company. I coach track. I try to do as much as I can to help people out, especially the youth. And just try to give them back and let them know that life is short, and if you don't cherish every moment, it'll be gone in a second. So, have a good time, enjoy life, enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and just live and be happy. I don't. A lot of people don't take stuff serious until they punched in the face with reality. If a doctor come up to you and tell you that you got 6 months to live, I really feel like a lot of people would change stuff. So, being told that, that changed a lot for me. So, I just try to live the right way, bring positive energy everywhere I go, lift people up, help people when I can. Same stuff we were just talking about, what our elders taught us, always help people out, always be positive, just the old school stuff that we was taught. So, like
that, you know what I mean? Good energy bring good things to happen. Do good things happen to you, happen for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like you said, you have to stay strong. Adversity, it don't kill you. Sometimes it makes you stronger. If you let it, if you go ahead and keep fighting, you keep going forward. Adversity just helps you out sometimes. But sometimes it put a test in front of you sometimes, and you have to rock and roll. You know what I mean? Through the pain, through the rain, through the struggle. Keep rolling, keep rolling, keep rolling. Sometimes you have to hit adversity back in the mouth. And keep rocking and rolling, man.
Oh, yeah. So, just like you said, you got to hit adversity back in the mouth. If you get punched by adversity, you can't just sit there and keep taking them punches. You got to fight back. And if you want to be successful, it don't matter what you're doing. Adversity going to hit you. You can be a doctor, a lawyer, a trash man, a cook. Adversity going to hit you. A stay-at-home mom, a bus driver. Adversity going to hit you at some point in your life. And how you deal with it is that's what makes you the person that you are. So, and I know we've been in the military, so I was trained to kind of separate us, from everybody, but it's still the same concept. When adversity hits you, you got to hit back. You can't let adversity jump on your back and just beat you down. You got to fight back.
Always. Fight the fight. And that's what we're here for. So, man, there's anything you need to add? Do you have any way that you can follow you, your business, follow your daughters for track? Is any social media they can follow you?
Jasmine's on Instagram. Jasmine Ezell, you can look her up. And I got a plumbing company called A1 Plumbing. We're on the internet. We got 5-star reviews. We're easy to find. We're the first company in the book. So, you can look us up, check us out. Any questions, any answers, anything we can do to help out, we're willing to do it. If I got to bring my kids to speak, if I got to speak, whatever we got to do to help out, man. At this point in life and going through what you're going through, we're just here to spread the positive vibes and lift people up. You'll never see me have a bad day. I'm always smiling. I'm always happy. And that's what it's all about. Just being positive.
That's what's up, man. So, hey, once again, Home Training presents you, The Fight Within the Fight. And this right here's a story, of somebody having to fight for their life. You know what I mean? Like he said, just because they tell you it's over, it's not over. You have to keep fighting, keep rocking and rolling, keep looking for other answers if you need to. So,
and I want to thank you too, cuz, for having me out here. Let me talk, and hopefully, somebody get this message and look at it and they'll keep fighting. So that's what it's all about. And I appreciate everything you're doing, because we know that, you're going to change some people's lives somewhere. So,
man, like I said at the beginning, the common people with uncommon stories. And we're here, cuz, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see you on the next time. Fight Within the Fight. Have a good one.